Every month, Kate, a primary school teacher, logs into her employment portal, clicks on her payslip, and feels a familiar knot in her stomach. It happens right around the deductions column. Tucked between her health insurance and pension contributions is a line item she never asked for, the Affordable Housing Levy. For Kate, it subtracts exactly 570 Kenyan shillings from her gross pay. Over a year, that 570 shillings multiplies into 6,840 shillings. That is the exact price of 2 new school uniforms, a term's book fees, or a brand new mattress. That money is now gone from her household budget, and Kate is entirely not alone. From nurses doing double shifts at Kenyatta National Hospital to boda riders navigating Nairobi traffic, millions of working Kenyans are staring at their own missing income, wondering where it went. That frustration is entirely justified. But to hold the state accountable for that missing money, we have to look past the anger. We need to forensically audit the affordable housing program itself, starting with the laws that mandate it, the data that tracks it, and the actual concrete outcomes it promises to deliver. To understand why the state can take a slice of your income, we have to look at the exact legal engine driving this deduction, the Affordable Housing Act of 2024. This diagram illustrates how Sections 4 and 5 of the Act operate. Look at the gross salary figure here. By law, exactly 1.5% of that total amount peels away and moves into a designated employee contribution column. The math doesn't stop there. The law requires your employer to pull from their own revenue and produce an equal 1.5% block. They place it right next to your deduction. Those two contributions fuse together. That combined 3% pipeline flows directly out of the payroll system and into a centralized account governed by a national board, known as the Affordable Housing Fund. Kate's 570 shillings is a small gear in a massive financial machine. It is a highly structured, legally mandated pipeline that is designed to pool billions of shillings every single month. Of course, you might remember that the government tried to build this exact pipeline once before, and it hit a massive legal wall. In late 2023, following petitions led by Senator Okia Omtata, the High Court struck down the original housing levy introduced in the Finance Act. The judges ruled it lacked a proper legal framework for managing the money and discriminated against the formal workforce by ignoring the informal sector. To keep the housing agenda alive, Parliament had to write a completely new law. The 2024 Act was specifically drafted to cure the court's objections. It expanded the levy to capture gross income from non-salaried workers and built the rigorous, missing legal framework around the fund itself. That legislative maneuvering worked. In October 2024, the High Court issued a decision in the Benjamin and others case, ruling that the new Affordable Housing Act is fully aligned with the Constitution and legally fulfills the state's mandate to provide adequate housing. The courts have spoken. The monthly deduction from your payslip is unequivocally lawful. With the legal question settled, the debate shifts from whether the state can take your money to what exact value they are giving you in return. So what exactly does the law legally guarantee you in exchange for that 570 shillings? Looking at this breakdown of the fund's legal obligations, the money is strictly partitioned into 3 distinct buckets. There is social housing for those earning under 20,000 shillings, affordable housing aimed at middle-income earners like Kate, and rural housing programs focused outside urban centers. To make sure citizens can actually access these units, the Ministry of Lands gazetted the 2025 Affordable Housing Regulations. These new rules officially lowered the mandatory deposit required to secure a home to just 5% of the total purchase price. For the lowest income brackets, the regulations go a step further. They establish a specific deposit assistance mechanism, effectively offering a low-interest loan to help the most vulnerable Kenyans cross that 5% threshold and secure a unit. The legal architecture is entirely in place. The state has drafted the laws, created the fund, and secured a massive mandatory revenue stream directly from your payslip. But a legally sound tax collection system is meaningless if it doesn't result in actual roofs over actual heads. The true success of this entire social contract relies entirely on turning paper legislation into rebar and concrete. Your money is already leaving your account every month. Now you need to know how to claim your return on that investment. In our next episode, we are going to navigate the Boma Yangu portal and show you exactly how to get in line